So as I mentioned in an earlier episode, all the races in the Shannara universe evolved from humans, all of them except for the elves. You see, in the Shannara universe, there are two opposing forces known as the Word and the Void. The demons that were locked away in the Forbidding that we see in Season 1 of the Shannara Chronicles are children of the Void, and they are fairy creatures. Since the elves locked them away, you can probably guess that elves are fairy creatures as well. If you're thinking that, you're partially right. The elves were fairy creatures. Long before humans roamed the planet was the Age of Faerie, a time filled with countless wonders, both beautiful and terrible. There were furies, dragons, elves, darklings, wights, wisps, and elementals. In fact, in the Shannara novels, we meet two of these elementals that survived the ending of the Age of Faerie, as well as the destruction of the Old World. The first and most often seen is the King of the Silver River. He pops in time and again to help the Omsfords on their travels, as he was created by the Word to protect the land. The other old fairy we see is Olbelk, the Stone King. While he was also a child of the Word, at some point he lost his way. He shows up in the Heritage series and is not very nice. Not very nice at all. Anyway, back to the elves. Eventually, the elves succeed in winning their seemingly unending war with the demons of the Void by creating the Elcrease and the Forbidding. Let me know if you want to know more about that. It's a pretty interesting topic, and there has been a lot written about it now by Terry, and I would love to talk about it. So just let me know in the comments if you would like to know about the genesis of the Elcrease, why they chose to make it the way they did, and all of that stuff. But I digress. So once the elves succeeded in locking the demons away, we don't really know what happens to them and the other children of the Word, other than that they underestimated the destructive nature of humanity as well as our phenomenal reproductive powers. Eventually, they were outnumbered, and as the earth started to be overrun by us and misused, they began to die out because their life and vitality is tied to the life and vitality of the land. At some point, either the elves made a choice to evolve away from their need for magic, or it just happened naturally. Either way, they were able to hold on where their brothers and sisters, unfortunately, were not. At this point, the elves disappear, and we don't see them or hear from them again until a set of novels Terry wrote to connect two of his series together, the Shannara series and the Word and Void series. While Shannara is our far, far future, the Word and Void deals with the present and the events that led to Shannara, namely how we screw everything up and with a little help from the Void end all of civilization and destroy the planet. In the Word and Void books, the main hero is a Knight of the Word. They are charged with fighting the Void to keep the apocalypse from coming. As you can imagine from what we've already learned from Shannara, they don't succeed. However, the Word does not give up. It sends the last two of its knights on two very important missions, to gather together all the survivors they can and take them to a place of safety so that they can ride out the storm that will destroy the old world, making way for the world of Shannara. One of the knights is tasked with finding and convincing the elves of Sintra to join the last of the humans and mutants that the other knight is gathering in this safe haven. The elves by this time have lost their innate magic, and almost no one remembers anything about magic to begin with. All they have left are some relics, like the blue elf stones and the Loden, a white elf stone with very specific powers. The Loden allows the user to shrink the capital city of the elves, magically storing it inside the Loden, so that one person can transport the entire elven nation from one place to another. Like, I am planning on doing a deep dive video like this one about the elf stones, since at this point in the books we have seen 3 different sets of elf stones appear in the world of Shannara, and Terry has referenced others as well that we just haven't seen, and it's a really interesting topic. And so I'm going to go over what they are, why they exist, why they operate the way they do, why some elf stones are in groups of 3 and some are in 1, all of that stuff. So stay tuned for that. So I bet you're wondering how the elves escaped our notice for so long if they had been hanging around the whole time with no magic. While not technically a magical feat, the elves are apparently master hiders. Their city Arborlawn was hidden deep in the Oregon woods, which is just weird. The Knight of the Word reaches them, helps them locate the Loden, and shrinks the city, including the Elcrease, and sets off for the waiting refuge. After weeks and weeks of battles and close calls, they finally arrive at a valley untouched by the deadening of the world. And here the elven city is brought out of the Loden, and together with the other survivors that are gathered, make a last stand. A magic wall of mist is created surrounding the valley and its refugees, protecting them from a nuclear winter that is engulfing the world. And that is the greatly, greatly abbreviated story of the Elves. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. That lets me know that I'm doing a good job and is encouragement to continue making these videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video, Internet. Have a good day.